Set somewhere far from the hustle and bustle of the city, in a rural area of America, a man named Cash starts his day with a morning workout and takes care of the ranch with his sister, Finny, and his teenage niece, Savannah.
Morning, Uncle Cash.
Cash used to work under Big Cat, a feared drug mafia boss, but after his younger brother died of an overdose, Cash decided to leave the black world and choose a clean life. Savannah is Finny's daughter who lost her mother in a car accident, so she and Cash have a very close and loving relationship.
Come on now. Savannah, let's go.
Oh, you look beautiful, baby girl.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
One day, after completing routine work at the ranch, Cash took Savannah to lunch at a nearby cafe. While enjoying his meal, Cash went to the restroom, leaving Savannah alone. Unexpectedly, 3 men known to be Big Cat's men came and sat at Savannah's table, making her feel uncomfortable. Before they could do anything, Cash returned and immediately told Savannah to wait outside. He wanted to speak directly to the 3 men, who were led by someone called the Buck. Feeling uneasy, Cash rushed home and immediately confronted Finny. After some prodding, Finny finally admitted that he had pawned their farm's land certificate to Big Cat. The money from the pawn was used to buy animal feed. Cash was very disappointed and angry, because he thought Finny should have sought help from a bank or official institution, instead of dealing with the risky mafia.
I know how these animals feed. I'll handle it.
The next day, Cash went to see Zeke Barkley, Big Cat's son, about the land title that Finny had put up as collateral. Zeke tells him that Finny traded the title deed for a large sum of money that Cash may not be able to repay. Zeke suggests that Cash meet directly with the mob boss to make a deal.
He's concerned. The farm belongs to Big Cat. Now, maybe you can earn it back, but it's not the kind of debt that you can just walk in and pay, even if you had the money.
Open up.
Who is it?
I'm trying to get out the back!
Door, Finny.
At home, Big Cat's men confront Finny and Savannah, demanding payment of the debt even though it is not yet due.
Pay a little visit. So to check up on our investment. Oh yeah. Let me get this shit.
Since Finny couldn't pay, the thugs attacked Finny and Savannah and dragged them out of the house. One of the thugs accidentally shoots Finny in the ear as a warning. When Cash returned home, he was shocked to see Finny injured and Savannah terrified. Savannah explained that Big Cat's men attacked them over a debt. Finny apologized for the trouble, and Cash calmed her down by telling her that they would find a solution. Cash then went to the police station to ask the sheriff for help to arrest Big Cat's men who attacked his family and protect Finny and Savannah. Unfortunately, the sheriff said they could not help due to lack of evidence. So, Cash decided to meet Big Cat to negotiate. When he arrived at Big Cat's place, his former boss greeted him. Cash asked how to pay off Finny's debt, and Big Cat offered a deal. If Cash completed 3 tasks, Finny's debt would be erased. With no other options, Cash agreed.
Jobs of my choosing. That's what it'll take to pay back the debt.
3 jobs and I'm done.
That night, Cash began his first assignment with the Buck. They were asked to keep an eye on a house that was the headquarters of a rival mafia. Cash approached the house and saw the mafia members inside counting money. He immediately reported this to the Buck, who then called his colleagues to attack the enemy headquarters that night. Soon after, Big Cat's men along with the Buck and Cash attacked the rival mafia group and managed to defeat them quickly. Cash then reported to Big Cat that the mission had been a success. The next day, Cash talks to his friend Wilder in a bar about his troubles being dragged back into the mafia world because of Finny's debt. Wilder, who used to be a member of the mafia but is now a pastor, advises Cash to pray and ask for God's help to avoid being trapped in that world again. The next morning, Cash is picked up by 2 of Big Cat's men, Lazarus and Harland, to make a drug deal with a Mexican dealer. They drove to a location on the edge of the jungle on the border of America and Mexico. Once there, Cash helped Harland unload the goods. Suddenly, Lazarus pulled out a gun and shot Harland. Cash was surprised and asked why. Lazarus replied that he was fed up with Harland's insults towards his family. To avoid further trouble, Cash asked Lazarus to hide Harland's body before the dealer arrived. Shortly after, the Mexican dealer arrived with his men and asked for Harlan's whereabouts because he didn't want to deal without him. Cash tried to cover up by saying Harlan was away on business, and he and Lazarus were representing him, but the dealer didn't believe him and refused to deal. Cash and Lazarus felt pressured because they didn't want to disappoint Big Cat, so they killed the dealer and 2 of his men.
Is sweet, fun time Lazarus.
After making sure all the Mexicans were dead, Cash and Lazarus took the money that was supposed to go to Big Cat. With that, Cash completed his second assignment. A few hours later, while washing the car, Cash told his brother that he was trying to pay off Finney's entire debt to Big Cat by completing 3 tasks. He said he had already completed 2 and only had 1 left. Finney, who knew how sneaky Big Cat could be, asked if Cash was sure Big Cat would keep his promise after the 3 tasks were completed. Cash stated that he was ready to face Big Cat and his men if they broke their promise. Later, Cash and Finney teach Savannah how to shoot so she can protect herself if Big Cat's men bother her again.
Oh, are we done?
Heck no.
One day, Cash goes on his 3rd assignment, working alone to fool Sheriff Duke Parks, who often interferes with Big Cat's illegal activities. Cash's job was to lure Duke to Big Cat's headquarters by telling him about a drug manufacturing site. Cash gave him the address of the warehouse, and Duke was grateful for not realizing he was being tricked. That afternoon, the Buck and his friends picked Cash up to go to Big Cat's headquarters to attend a celebration party with all the Mafia members because Cash had completed 3 missions. Once there, Cash saw everyone gathered in the living room enjoying the food from Big Cat. Big Cat gave a speech celebrating their increased profits. Shortly after, they moved to another room where the Buck brought a battered and bound Duke.
I got it all laid out for you.
My son, and I promise you, I swear to God, I swear on everything I love, I got a son.
Big Cat intends to execute Duke in front of everyone. Feeling guilty, Cash requested that he execute Duke outside the room with the intention of saving him, but Big Cat refused and killed Duke with a knife in front of everyone. Later, Cash discussed Finney's debt, thinking that everything would be resolved once he completed the 3 missions. However, Big Cat said that the deal had changed. Cash must now continue working for him indefinitely to pay off Finney's debt. Disappointed and feeling lied to, Cash decided to leave the base. The next day, Cash called Finney and told him that Big Cat had broken his promise. He asked Finney to take Savannah as far away from Big Cat's group as possible. Cash planned revenge by destroying all the members of Big Cat's group who had deceived him. Finney agrees and plans to leave after they attend Mass at church because he has an appointment with Wilder. After the call, Cash begins to observe Big Cat's headquarters, figuring out where the weakest security points are. Meanwhile, Finney and Savannah attend the morning service led by Wilder. Afterward, they say goodbye to Wilder as they intend to leave the village that day as per Cash's instructions. As Finney and Savannah headed for their car, the Buck and several people from Big Cat's group suddenly attacked Finney until he was badly injured. Savannah screamed in terror as she saw her father being beaten by the mobsters.
Hey, Fanny, where's Cat?
Back up! Everybody back up!
Finally, Wilder came and chased away the Buck and his colleagues. Because Finney was badly injured, Wilder and Savannah took him to the hospital. Shortly after, Cash received news of the attack and rushed to the hospital.
He's gone. I'll be right outside if you need me.
Unfortunately, when he arrived, he learned that his brother had died from losing too much blood. Heartbroken, Cash meets Wilder at the hospital and decides to avenge Finney's death. Wilder couldn't stop him, but warned Cash to be careful. The next day, Cash acts by killing 2 of Big Cat's men who are doing drugs in a car as a warning. The police find their bodies and start investigating. Shortly afterward, Big Cat arrives on the scene and asks the sheriff about the deaths of his men. The sheriff suspects Cash because his car keys were found there, but the sheriff seems to be following Big Cat's orders to avoid a Duke-like fate.
Found the family's truck in the woods. Even left his damn key.
This mess from getting out. We'll be taking care of this in-house.
We're past time for messing around, Pastor.
Where is she? Oh, she ain't here.
The next day, the Buck and his colleagues went to Wilder's house to look for Savannah. Wilder refused to provide information, so they beat him up.
Where's the girl?
Savannah, who could not bear to see Wilder being hurt, finally turned herself in. Before leaving with Savannah, the Buck told Wilder that he would be released if Cash surrendered to Big Cat headquarters.
Willing to make a straight trade. Now you tell Cash, his life for the girls.
A few hours later, Cash came to Wilder's house to look for Savannah, but found Wilder with a bruised face. Wilder apologized for not being able to protect Savannah and relayed a message from the Buck for Cash to come to Big Cat headquarters immediately. After hearing that, Cash asks Wilder for help to save Savannah by kidnapping Zeke as a bargaining chip. Although hesitant at first, Wilder finally agreed to help his friend.
And I got the same idea. I like to get filthy when I'm home.
They immediately went to Zeke's workplace and kidnapped him.
What the fuck are you doing? Get you ready. Take you to lunch. No!
Cash then called Big Cat and said that Zeke was their hostage and demanded Savannah's release in exchange. Reluctantly, Big Cat agreed and told Cash to take Zeke to his headquarters. After hanging up, Cash decided not to trust Big Cat and asked Wilder to take Zeke alone. Cash plans to sneak in from the back way. At the agreed time, Wilder drove a car with Zeke strapped to the front to Big Cat's headquarters. As they approached, Big Cat's men prepared to attack Wilder, but Wilder, who knew Big Cat would not easily free Savannah, pointed his gun at Zeke.
More the Old Testament time, eye for eye.
I thought you was reformed, preacher.
Meanwhile, Savannah, who was tied to a chair, took advantage of Lazarus, her guard, to break free by cutting the ropes with a sharp iron behind her. Once free, she grabbed a nearby gun and shot Lazarus out the window. Big Cat then orders the Buck to check inside the house while he and his men exchange gunfire with Wilder, who manages to take out some of Big Cat's men. At the same time, Zeke sees an opportunity to escape into the forest. Meanwhile, Cash manages to take out several guards around Big Cat's headquarters. With Wilder's help, Cash shoots some of Big Cat's men, although Wilder is wounded when Zeke, hiding behind a tree, shoots him. Upset, Wilder returned fire and hit Zeke in the leg. Despite being wounded, Zeke tries to escape into the forest but is attacked by Big Cat's hounds, who are attracted by the smell of his blood.
Get the fuck back!
Hearing Zeke's cries, Big Cat rushed to his son only to find that Zeke had been eaten to death by the dogs. Meanwhile, Wilder continues to fight and eventually manages to defeat all of Big Cat's men despite being injured. Cash manages to get in and find Savannah, but he is suddenly chased by the Buck. Despite being chased, Cash uses his skills to defeat Big Cat's men. After finding Savannah, Cash asked her to escape through the window, but they were intercepted by Big Cat, who pointed a gun at them. Seeing no other option, Cash decided to face Big Cat alone. When Cash confronts Big Cat, Savannah, who wants to save her uncle, surprisingly attacks Big Cat from behind, killing the woman. At the end of the movie, we see the surviving Wilder giving a sermon at the church. Meanwhile, Cash and Savannah return to their daily lives tending the family ranch.
amat!
Sometimes, to atone for past sins, one must be willing to bleed again, not for himself, but for the sake of those he loves. Because in truth, family is the strongest reason to rise, fight, and survive. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.